Then we pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your boy ExtrmWill, and this is my tech channel. It's been a couple days. A lot of stuff's going on here with Salad. Earnings look like they're going pretty good right now. Last 24 hours for $35. If we go back to the last 7 days, we'll start here because it'll be easier to explain everything. So it looks like 7 days ago, I decided to turn off the 10 machines because everything just was not working well enough at all. And then they had update 1.7.3, I want to say. So I turned everything back on. And then turning everything back on, I think I made $25 that day. The next day I made, looks like $29.63. So starting to get a little bit better. And then here, I guess it would be on the 28th, we lost electricity in the house completely. The whole neighborhood. I don't know what happened. I guess it would have been Thanksgiving on Thursday. We lost, I was at work. We lost power in the whole neighborhood, so everything went down for a while. I've been dealing with a bunch of different issues from that. Certain machines didn't want to turn back on. I was able to get them to turn back on, and was just working on everything and trying to get stuff all sorted. So I lost power, and that was a pain in the butt. The next day, so I made $25, which makes sense if I lost power. And then it looks like then it's up to like $35. And I'd assume this $35 range should be much closer to where it looks like things are. Because I've seen everything look like it was running really, really good before I lost power. I was back into like these blocks. You know, my high block right here, I think right now is 48 cents. So I was seeing stuff getting into like that 40. I don't think I saw anything get close to 50, but I was definitely seeing a lot more up over 40 cents. And it was looking like it was doing pretty decent. I must still have some stuff here that must be still kind of low. The low is probably 27. I guess there's two little dips there at 27, but pretty much pretty much have to go back to yesterday to really get 27. Got a little bit there where it dipped. But earnings been looking like they're going pretty good. These are the 15-minute blocks. I'm running 29 machines right now, I believe. Yeah, I think I have 29 machines running. So if you figure out the 15-minute block and you figure out what your average is, you multiply that by 4 to give you the hour, and then multiply it by 24 to give you the day. So if you just say you multiply it by 100 for whatever your average is, that's how much you should be making for the day. So if this is 43 cents, if this was my average, I should have made $43 for the day. So just kind of a rough way to look at it. So looking at the 15-minute blocks can make sense. But I think the biggest thing you need to be paying attention to then is how many machines it is, I think. So you kind of get an idea. It's taking me 29 machines to get here. And they're all scattered. We'll get into the individual machines. So let's see. That covers that to that. Ooh, one thing too we get in here. We did figure this out too. So figured out my 30 machines in here just in time for it to not really matter. Two of my machines were sharing the same machine ID. So that was the problem. That was kind of a pain in the butt to figure out, because they don't really have your machine ID numbers posted anywhere. So with my talking with Salad, I'm like, this is how many cards I have, and this is what's on all of them, and this is 30, and it's only showing me 29. And then, so they're like, well, we're only reporting one 3070 Ti rig. So then I was able to look at the 3070 Ti rig, find the machine ID number it had, and the machine ID number said that was lining up with the 3060. So then I went and figured out which 3060 it was lining up with, and I was like, okay, so I know this is, they're both sharing the same ID, which is why the one machine I don't think was really getting work, and now that machine's dead anyways, the other 3060 rig. So just to really convolute everything more. But that's why it wasn't showing correctly. And I think then I think I could only have one of those machines running a job at a time. So I don't think it was letting that other 3060 rig run if the 3070 Ti had a job. I think they were both sharing the same. Probably something to do with how the manufacturer who I bought the PCs from was uploading Windows on there. Because they both come with a pre-installed version of Windows from the same computer boutique store. So I think something with how they were setting them up. But they were both running on different machine IDs for a while. I don't know why all of a sudden it seemed to get confused and then not want to do it correctly. Or maybe it had been messed up for longer and I just didn't realize. It could have been messed up for longer and I just didn't realize. Because the laptop's not showing on there anymore. So it could have been messed up longer. Yeah. And that would make sense why the one machine just wasn't getting work. So, but I do currently say goodbye to the machine Z1, the 10-year-old i7 running DDR3. I'm pretty sure that motherboard is shot from when we lost power. I was able to get it turned back on for like a day. And every time that machine resets, I have to go log into it. I got to bring a monitor out there and the keyboard. I use the little crash kit I have out there. And every time it gets reset, it automatically wants to reload into the motherboard options. Which I don't know why I can't think what the motherboard options are called right now. But it wants to reset into that. So I've got to go in and tell it that it doesn't need to do anything in the BIOS. It doesn't need to do anything in the BIOS. It just needs to reboot into Windows. So, yeah, I'm thinking that one's probably dead. So I may play around with it more. I've got a week of vacation coming. I'm going to go somewhere for vacation, but I may try to play around with it a little bit to see if I can save it. Or I may take a look real quickly and see if I can buy a really nice, if I can find for Black Friday, like a real nice like AMD processor and motherboard combo kind of thing. I'm going to look into that after I'm done with this, so we will see what I'm going to do. But I'm down to 29 machines for a little bit, but I got that fixed though too. So if I had 29 machines now, I could have all 20, I could have all 30 running if I had 30 working. Yeah. So I got 29 now, so that covers everything. I was going to make multiple videos for that, but I guess I'll just explain it here. I don't think I need to make a video for that stuff. So the explanation's here. So that's that. For the last 30 days, let's go. Not that. 30 days for everything. You can see it's definitely picking up a bit here. You can see, let's see. So this is me getting really irritated with not liking the current updates. I don't remember what these dips were. If these dips were just not working and not having work, but it looks like the jobs are picking up and the work is picking up and going in the right direction here. The only fall off here was because I lost power at the house. So we lost power, the whole neighborhood went down, so nothing really I can do about that. It happens. So try to keep everything up and working as best as I can and see what happens. So if we go into here, look at all of the machines, it's 29 right now. I have 3 4090s running on the X99 motherboard with a 20-core Xeon processors. Then I have 3090 in a 1950X AMD Threadripper. This machine gave me a fit, so I had to tear it apart and put it back together again to get it to work. A little bit not sure if this one is necessarily working correctly, but it is up and working right now. So and then if we get into here, these BCPC, these are the bc/pc.com combo kits from Brandon Coyne from his store. I bought 7 of them and then I just made the rest. So 2 of these are 4070 Ti's, and then I have one 4070, and then I have 4 3090s, which I actually have 5 3090s altogether because the other one's in the Threadripper, which I might pull that out and put it in one of these. I'm thinking about it. So I can just have all 5 of the 3090s all lined up. Depends. Depends, I guess, when I look back at Warthog to see what the price on Warthog is. When I made my initial stuff with Warthog, the price was like 50 cents for the coin. And then the last time I looked, it was at like $1 or over $1. So if Warthog's going to go way up in price, may need to put the Threadripper onto Warthog. So I probably won't do it with the 3090 because it'll max the 3090 out. So I mean, it'll probably work just fine with like a 3060 or 3060 Ti kind of thing. So or 3070, just even if I care whether the 3070 is maxed out or not, just because they're not necessarily doing anything on here. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. And then I have 3 4060 Ti's. I have a 3070 and 3060. So I actually have 5 3070s, 3 3060 Ti's, 2 3070 Ti's, 2 3080s. What am I missing? 3060? I think 4 3060s. A lot of stuff is all left over from crypto mining. And then that is in, I have a 12-core AMD machine, 4 8 cores, 5 6 cores, and now we only have 2 4 cores because this one 4 core, she looks like she is dead. So, it's looking like she's dead. I might be able to play around with it, and I might be able to bring it back and fix it, but I'm just not feeling too optimistic about that. So let's get into the machines. So this is 20 cores, 128 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4090. This one looks like it is doing 10 cents. So that's a real punch in the gut right there. If we get to go to the next one, this is 20 cores, 128 gigabytes, RTX 4090. This one's doing $2.52. So that's not very good either. This next one, this is 20 cores, 128 gigabytes, RTX 4090. This one looks like it's doing 18 cents. Is it really doing 18 cents? Yes, it looks like it is doing 18 cents. So that's dumb. So if those two 4090s were really working, instead of looking like I'm making $35, I would be looking like I should be looking like I'm making like $45. So I just need the 4090 work to pick up. This one here, though, is looking pretty nice. AMD 1950X 16-core Threadripper, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3090. This one looks like it's going $4.09. So that's pretty good for a 3090 right now. Let's go to the next one. A lot of stuff's getting reset, and I just have not been paying enough attention to it. So this is the beginning of the BC/PC combo kits. So this one actually has more memory. It has only come with 64. Some of mine have 96. Most of them have 64. And I think I have one. The last one I just built, I think, has 32 because I didn't have any more 64s. So I didn't really care. I think I put a 32 with the 3070. I don't think there's any real reason to have 64 memory with 3070. It's kind of a waste. But anyways, this is 12 cores, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti, and this one is currently calculating. It's not in the job, so boo. This next one, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti. This one's doing $1.30. This next one here, 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4070. This one's actually doing $2.62, so this is amazing. This card almost never really runs. I am thinking maybe if I buy a really nice AMD chip. I don't know. I doubt they would put the really nice new ones though in a combo. But there's a chance I might pull that 4070 and put it on Warthog with a really nice AMD chip in that Machine 30. As a possibility. Just because this thing rarely does run. But it looks like it has a job right now, so that's pretty nice. So into the 3090s, this is 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This one's like $2.62. This next one, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This one's like $2.62. This next one, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090, $2.62. This next one, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 3090, $2.62. So those are all running pretty nice and good. I think right now the 3090 seems like it is probably the best bet for a card to be buying. If I was going to be buying more GPUs, I'd probably want to try to pick up more 3090s right now. I think the 3090 looks like it might be better still than the vast majority of the new 50 series cards too. Who did the video on this? Was it Mine Some10? Mine Some10. I think he just did a video on it where he kind of broke down the rough numbers for what it looks like, what the new cards are going to look like for the mining compute. And he has like a weird way of averaging it out, but his weird way of averaging it out looks like everything other than the 5090 just kind of looks like junk. Looks like overpriced junk. Now they might be really good. You know, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think the 40 series was really necessarily that much better than the 30 series was for mining. They were like a little bit more efficient, but not at the cost for what I paid for them more efficient. So, I don't think I'm ever really going to properly recoup the cost from my 40 series cards. Whereas my 30 series cards, they've all recouped themselves over several times over. So, yeah, I think the 3090 looks like it's probably the only real one from the 30 series that I think I'd really want to still pick up. But it just looks like, with trying to do like AI compute stuff, it just looks like the 3090s, because they have so much VRAM, looks like their costs should be going down. So you should be able to be getting them cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And they look like they're still just holding up for being able to do work. So, I mean, unless they pop out something weird with the new 50 series where it has way more VRAM than it should, I'm like afraid to see what they're going to charge right now for the 5090s, because I've seen some stuff that looks like their speculation, they could be asking like $3,000-$4,000 a piece for them. I mean, I saw something where like somebody, like NVIDIA hasn't even officially announced yet that there is a 5090, and I saw something where somebody said that they were going to be selling 5090s for like $4,000 a piece or something like that. But that's not, the card hasn't been announced yet, so they weren't supposed to let it slip how much they were going to sell them for. So, but we will see. We will see. So let's go to the next one. 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3080. This one's selling $1.30. There's a good chance too, I might, when we get back from vacation, I might trade in both my two 3080s to get two 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte cards through Newegg. You gotta do them one at a time if you do it, but I may trade both of them in. I think it just cost me like $100, or the last time I did it, it cost me $100 to do it. So I may do that and just work on trying to update some stuff right now where I can, because I think my 3080s still both work real good. My 3070s, my 3060s, and my 3060 Ti's, I don't know if they're fully functional. Like, I don't think the DisplayPort out works on all of them, so I don't know if I can sell those, but I should look at trying to sell the cards that I think are still working great. So I think that might be a good idea right now, because I think we'll see a weird mixture of prices going both simultaneously up and down at the same time, with the new generation of cards getting ready to come out, and with crypto mining looking like it's being more profitable. I think you can get like a peak amount for your equipment and buy new equipment like still kind of cheap, I think. So I think it's a good time to be trading and swapping stuff out. So let's go to the next one. 12 core CPU, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4060 Ti. This one's only $1.30. So next one, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. This one's only 10 cents. And the next one, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. This one's only $2.62. There hasn't necessarily been a ton of work for the 4060 Ti's, but I just feel like it should be a relatively safe card going forward because it has so much VRAM. I think because it has so much VRAM, it just makes it a better proposition with spending not a lot of money. I think it's just a hair under like the 4070 Ti Super, but at like half the price. So, because they both would have the same amount of VRAM. For the next one, 12 cores, 32 gigabytes. This is the 3070. Because it's the 3070, I'm fine with that 32 gigabytes of memory. It's going to be very, very few people are going to want to get the full maximum amount of memory where they're going to want to pay for the more memory on a 3070. If you're buying a 3070, like, you know, I think you're just fine with the 3070s with only having the 32. It's going to be really rare to see anybody pay for that little bit more memory. On the 3060 12 gigabyte cards, I think it might be a little bit more realistic. You'll see someone pay for the more memory because it'll actually do something. But because the 3070 is only 8 gigabytes of VRAM on the card, it's just not going to happen. But this one's doing $1.30, so it's not too bad. It's still making money. So we go to the next one, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. I believe this is the last one that I have in here. As you can see, it says a 64 in here. I did, when it was not working, I did have a chance to push that second stick all the way in. I don't know how I didn't catch that right when I turned it on, that it didn't have the right amount of memory in there, but it's like $1.92. So you can see right here, as I was literally just saying a second ago, this is one too with having that little bit more memory. Someone's paying for the more memory. You can see it right here. It's at 37. So they're paying for the full 30 gigabytes of memory, and then the system right now is using 7.7. So in order to fully optimize out, if someone pays for the full 30 gigabytes of memory, you have to have more than 38. So you could theoretically do 48 gigabytes of memory if you wanted to get really funky with it, which would be, what is that, like 3 sticks of 16 would max them out for like some of like your cheaper cards. But I don't know if that's really necessarily that much better than just running 64 in there. So, but I mean, depends, I guess, what you have kind of like lying around. If you have if you have like a ton of sticks of 16 lying around, you could do 3 sticks of 16. But you can see this one is making a little bit more. Instead of making the $1.30, this one's making the $1.98. As I said, I think I see the scenario far more where someone is paying more for the 3060 12 gigabyte card because that extra VRAM, its compute power is just, I think it's better. The 3060 12 gigabyte card is a steal compared to the 3070. I think the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte card is a steal compared to the vast majority of the 4070 lineup. So I think the 4070s don't really get rented, because if anybody kind of has an idea what they're doing, why would you pay for a 4070 when you can get a 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte card instead? It's better for this AI compute. Like for crypto mining, it may not necessarily be, but for AI compute, more VRAM is definitely better. So if we go to the next one, this machine's pretty cool. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. AMD Ryzen 9 5900X 12 core. Which is weird. There's a good chance this might be what I wind up buying again right now too, to replace the new one. And I haven't even tested this on Warthog yet. But I am excited to try this one on Warthog. I'll probably get that done in the next couple of days here and put that video out. So this one has 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3070 Ti. It's currently doing nothing, so it is available right now for me to throw Warthog on here and try to do it and see what it does. So I'd like to see with this newer AMD processor. I'd like to try this one and the Threadripper to see what they do. See if they're any good. And then figure out which graphics card I need to put in them to have them start mining Warthog instead. I think that would be good. So, alright. Chrome Remote Desktop can only have 20 open at a time. So we'll close that first set out, and then we will now open the 8-core PCs. I do kind of like this all being kind of scattered here. I like doing them in the order of how many cores it is. I like having the cards all kind of scattered just so you can see, like, to get it reinforced that it doesn't necessarily matter as much which card you're using. Alright, so this is i7, 8 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. This one's doing $1.30. So the $1.30 is the low priority job. You'll see a lot of those. i7, 8 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. This one is not doing anything right now. So next one, i7, 8 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one's doing $1.30. Next one, AMD Ryzen 7, 8 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one's doing $1.32. Alright, so that'll be it for those. And then let's go the 6 cores. I probably could open all of them up, because I only have 2 4 cores then. So this is i5, 6 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. This one's doing $1.30. This next one, i5, 6 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3080. This one's doing $1.30. Ryzen 5, 6 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti. This one's doing $1.30. So this would be the machine then that had the same machine ID as the other 3060, which is why I was only reporting 29 machines when I was running 30 in the Salad software. So this one would have had the Ironside thing up here on the background, and it has a fresh new installed copy of Windows. I don't even have my WSL shortcut in here yet, because it's just running brand new version of Windows from like 2 days ago. So this one though, it does have the it's running an actual official copy of Windows, so it doesn't have the watermark in the corner, but that's that. So this next one, i5, 6 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti. This one is doing, looks like it is currently idle, but it was doing $1.30 until about 144. So let's go to the next one. This is AMD Ryzen 5, 6 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. This one looks like it was doing 10 cents, and it's not doing anything. It is calculating. I don't think we checked on any of these yet. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're still not showing the estimated earnings in here, because this is still all broken and a mess, but we can figure it out going through the backdoor way. I will try to put the code, this Windows PowerShell command line, in the description down below if you want to try and do this. Probably should have said that at the beginning of the video or earlier on in the video, but it'll be down in the description down below. You can copy and paste it, and then every time, once you've typed the code in, all you've got to do is press the up and down arrows, and they'll go through everything you've typed in. So it's kind of nice and handy. So go to the next one. Or if you want to, you can just relook at one of my old videos. Keep watching my old videos and driving my view counts up. I think it only counts as one view, but you can still just keep rewatching them over again, just to go into the item, just to go into the description down below to get it. I do that all the time with stuff, like with other people's videos, if I need like a command line. So like if I do something where I'm doing it on a bunch of PCs, I'll just have the person's like YouTube video up, and I'll just keep copying and pasting it from it every time I do it. I do that pretty regularly. So let's get into these 4 cores. i3, 4 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one looks like, is it still doing $1.30? It is still doing $1.30. That's just from when I was originally checking. The time changed. So yeah, it's $1.30. And this next one, i3, 4 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3080. This one's currently doing $1.30. If I do trade them in, I'm going to trade this one in last. Because this 3080, this is my most reliable machine here. And it looks like it is up and working nice and good. So yeah, that's all that. Earnings in general, but looking pretty decent. So I think when we started, it was at 35 cents every 15 minutes, and now it's at 31 cents every 15 minutes. I do think Chrome Remote Desktop is crashing out jobs. I know it can. I think it's happening a little bit more often now than it was before. For the first longest bit, I don't think I saw it happening much of at all. But I guess now the way I'm checking it, it's a little bit easier to see. And I do think I see, like, it does tend to crash jobs out, but I don't have another way to check. So I've got to just deal with it, I guess. I need better overall monitoring software. Every time I hear anything from Sal, they say it's coming, so we will see. Yeah, I think that's it for the video. We're at 31 minutes, so that's a pretty nice, solid little video there. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, come on back. I'll get more content. I'd like to do a whole bunch of videos right now. So we'll see what I have time for and what I'm able to actually do. I know I got one more day of work and one more night of work, and then my vacation starts. So I need to get a whole bunch of stuff done before I can actually do my vacation and feel like I'm on vacation. So we'll see what I get done, but yeah, that's it. That's what it looks like. 29 machines on Salad. Much happier with it at $35 than it was at $25 for, you know, those couple of weeks there. So if I can get up to 35, 40, 45, that's pretty nice. I like that. So yeah, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, come on back, and I'll see you next time. Peace.